Hello and welcome back to An Abundance of Naught. It is September 9th. I am Garrett, joined with Brad and Wade.
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Oh,
the weather in California is weird.
Yes. It was sunny this morning and then decided to precipitate quite aggressively for about 3 hours. And now it's like pretty much sunny again.
Were there mass riots in the streets? I know how unfamiliar you guys are with.
Well, what's even more strange is it never really got below 90 degrees.
Was it turning to steam before it hit the ground?
Pretty much. It's like instant evaporation. It was pretty interesting. So yeah, that was a thing.
The best thing is when it started, the airport lost power.
Oh, nice.
I was like, guess what we weren't prepared for?
So it was 90 degrees with 300% humidity.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. It was awesome.
We walked out of the work and we went, oh yeah, it's hot and raining. What the...
Yeah, it's been quite warm out here lately. But we haven't talked in a couple of weeks. Sure we have a fair amount of stuff to touch base on. Brad, how's your world doing?
My world is doing fairly good. We have been working on getting our current house ready to finalize the sale. There were a couple things they wanted us to repair before turning over possession, so we've been working on that. I believe we have that checklist done now.
Sweet.
Yay!
Some drama surrounding trying to purchase our next house, but I believe we have all that straightened out now. So we are all systems go. We've got, what is today? Wednesday. We've got less than a week left in this house.
What's the hopeful move-in time on the new house?
We are anticipating a homeless time of about a week, maybe 2 tops. We're going to stay with my dad, actually. If all goes to plan, we're supposed to close on our existing house on the 18th and on our new one on the 25th, so it's a week apart.
Oh, okay.
This is when you find out who snores.
We've stayed with my dad before, so we know very well that he snores.
There you go. Earplugs are purchased.
But I do too, so...
It's going to be a battle.
It's a night-long competition.
There you go. And your wife's caught in the middle of it.
Pretty much. So, most of our stuff has been centered around the house, getting, everything as packed as we can and as clean as we can. It's one of those rather interesting conundrums that you don't think about until you're dealing with it, is how do you pack while still living? So, we've packed as much as we can, but there's some stuff that just you can't. I mean, we still have to wear clothes, we still have to eat, we still have to cook dinner. There's stuff that you just don't pack until day 0.
Yes, that's correct.
So we're about as packed as we can be now, down to bare minimums, to the point where even the silverware and the chinaware are packed away, and we're very sadly, for environmental reasons, living off of disposable plates and silverware.
Shame on you.
I know, it isn't our first choice, but oh my goodness. What are you going to do?
Agreed.
It's a temporary problem.
Now, this week you had a little situation.
I did. It came to a head this week. Actually, I broke my tooth several years ago. I have a massive fear of dentists. Don't like them at all. Nothing personal. They're nice people, but I just don't like what they do.
I don't think they're nice people. Let's say I don't think hygienists...
Sorry, the nice people went to medical school and became doctors. The sadistic jerks went to medical school.
At least the hygienists, I feel that way. You know?
You're going to feel a little bit of a pinch javelin to your cheek.
Sharp spike into your gums. Did you feel that? Well, I'd respond, but your hands are in my mouth. So just take this wince of pain as acknowledgement.
But you would first need to remove your fist from my mouth.
Wider. Unhinge your jaw, please. Jesus.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah. I got the blocking treatment out of this one, so wider. Here, let me put a wedge in there.
There you go.
I've had that.
I would like to say, though, and this dentist was actually pretty good. I got to give him that. I did get nitrous oxide this time. Definitely recommend that. Made me feel much happier.
He's walking to the dentist office, singing and humming a merry tune.
I've not had the nitrous treatment. I wonder if it's a California thing.
So I believe everybody reacts slightly differently. You know, there's obviously different body chemistry reactions, but for the most part, nitrous is not a feel-good gas as much as it is I don't care gas.
I need that on a daily...
Yeah, it takes away the anxiety. It takes away... You still feel it. That's what the anesthetic's for. I'm not saying I was in pain. But you're not knocked out. You still feel the pressure. You still see them doing. You feel them doing.
Can I get like a backpack with a pump of that stuff and like an intravenous feed, please?
I need that accessible at all times.
Yeah. So, it was actually, I forget, I believe they called it tooth 18 for those that care. It was the second tooth on my bottom left side.
Got it.
So, way at the back. So it involved some prying, and it came out in a couple pieces, but all in all, not too bad. Tooth removed. I am feeling much better. I've got, they prescribed me some really good stuff, so I'm feeling good.
Oxycodone? What's the good one?
Propofol.
Dilaudid.
If you want to be knocked back out, they gave me
that's good stuff.
hydrocodone. Yeah, so it's codeine
I think I still have some of that.
Acetaminophen.
I hear it goes really good with tequila.
Oh, God.
Just saying.
Vicodin, too.
Well, see, now they start to get into interesting pharmacology. Vicodin is the same stuff. It's just in different proportions. One has more codeine than acetaminophen, and the other one is the other way around. It's in different proportions. It's the same drugs.
More.
Yeah, that's it. More. Give me more. A full disclosure, though, I actually took one, and I promptly slept for several hours, which I'm assuming is the codeine, because not that I do poorly with acetaminophen, but I don't get a reaction from it, which means I woke up still in pain. So I've just switched back to standard Advil.
Bradley's a drug addict.
I do that every Tuesday night. So you've been in pain.
The sucky thing about that is I'm not allowed to mix those kind of cocktails, right? Well, not for me anyway. The antibiotics they've got me on, I'm not allowed to drink.
It's not recommended. It makes for an interesting night for your wife, though.
It's not. Yeah, it's not recommended. Interesting thing. I want to keep my marriage and my liver, so
but
we're going to follow
laughs
the
we could get
instructions on the side of
YouTube
the drugs. Oh, I'm sure you could get a lot of laughs.
Give us some when we were already off screen or off, camera.
Yeah. So let's see. It's been 2 weeks, like we said. We were shopping at Costco. We were looking for a TV for our vacation place.
We're not that rich, by the way,
we
people.
didn't have one. And I had decided that the Samsung Galaxy 6 Edge Plus was a mighty good-looking phone. and my active 4 was starting to show its age a little bit. It wasn't quite as it's right. It was
Wasn't
getting a
quite
little
as
thick
active
around
as
the
it should be.
midsection, so on, so on. Just
Too
just
many
couldn't
apps.
resist.
Had a bit too many cookies.
Too many cookies, too many apps. It just couldn't handle it. So I have since upgraded to the Galaxy Edge 6 Plus, which is about the same size as the iPhone 6 Plus. And I am very happy with it. It seems to be a little quicker. It's got a lot more storage. It's much bigger. The wireless charging feature is freaking awesome. I got one free with the Costco
How many
bundle
pads
deal.
have you bought?
And I'm sticking with that one for now, because
Sure.
depending where you look, they could be anywhere from $30 to $60 a piece. Yes. So,
And in varying
be
qualities.
mindful, those users out there. And then this past weekend, took the kid out for Labor Day weekend. We went out to our vacation place out at the river, of which it was 100+ degrees all 3 days. And my dad, who was living out there for some time, didn't do us any favors when he left. With the temperature like that, you have to remove and disconnect batteries from vehicles, otherwise they're dead. And that's exactly what he didn't do. So what was supposed to be some good time on the water was spent cleaning and getting situated. The kid played in the water a little bit on Sunday, but definitely not, didn't meet the expectations going out there. So that was a downer.
I mean, from the stories I heard, it sounded like he just upped and left.
Pretty much. I mean, we used to have a whole checklist of things to do before you left the place, so it was ready for the next visit, and like all those things were ignored. And then we had a water leak, which was not any of his doing. Luckily, it was an easy one.
Ooh, that's no fun.
But it had to be managed and dealt with. So, yeah, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But you were out of California. There's no water shortage now.
Sure. Let's see, what else? This week, I was supposed to be off work this week, but I had put in for vacation. And we had landed a very large opportunity here in San Diego, to which promises were made and deadlines were established, and I had kind of decided that I could either be a part of the solution or not come in and, kind of contribute to the problem. Yes, for all the wrong reasons.
Have your absence
So
noticed?
I've been at work and worked almost a 10-hour day today to try to make sure we delivered on those promises. I have been told that the
Are you gonna
vacation
get your
time that I put
vacation
in
time
for, I will get back, and still in talks on other means of retribution. So that should be interesting. Wade, 2 weeks. What do you got?
Agreed.
Well, it was nice and quiet when you guys were gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that
You're welcome.
yeah, it almost got kind of creepy. I mean, it was kind of an uncanny valley kind of area, where something that you're not used to.
I don't understand how you tell the difference when you have headphones on your head like 24/7.
I don't have headphones in my head 24/7.
Okay.
No.
It's more like 22/7.
23/6. Get it right.
So
2 hours a day.
nope.
You gotta sleep sometime.
God, I can't remember what was going on. I mean,
It was quiet. You were freaked out.
yeah, kind of, pretty much. I mean, I just can't remember what I've been doing. I'm like a memory of a goldfish right now.
On side notes, yeah, being so loud and controlling.
He's not used to the voices inside his
On
head.
a side note, I had taken the drone out to our vacation place, but the only laptop we have is a Mac, And although I downloaded the software for calibration, the Mac wouldn't see the drone. So I had hoped to do some testing and adjusting over the weekend. That didn't happen. So I did some last night. I was hoping to fly it this evening, but with the long day and the weather, I'm not going to get that chance either. It really is. Although, for all those
really
would-be drone pilots, for those like me who are getting into it, or those who are thinking about it, Brad, there is a fun little app. It is free. It's definitely on Android. I can assume that it's on Apple. And it is called FPV Freerider. And you can work on your drone piloting skills, whether through an FPV view or a line of sight view. I've been mildly addicted to it today at lunch and was very frustrated every time I kept crashing. Cool. So that was the thing. Shut up. But yes, no, it's actually pretty
fairly
cool.
well replicates real
The
life.
free version has one little map. The paid version has like 6 or so. I don't know. Anyway, I think with that, let's see if we can get to some movies. In the movies this week, we have 3 to talk about. That is The Visit at 56%. It is rated PG-13. The terrifying story of a brother and sister who are sent to their grandparents' remote Pennsylvania farm for a week-long trip. Once the children discover that the elderly couple is involved in something deeply disturbing, they see their chances of getting back home are growing smaller every day. So that's a little bit more down Wade's alley.
I've seen, commercials for this?
I don't know. Would you call them commercials?
Yeah, commercials, trailers, whatever. And so, at least it wasn't like, okay, they're acting weird, but we don't know why. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's exactly what this says. They're involved in something deeply disturbing. You don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of actress names here. Catherine Hahn, Deanna Dunnigan, Peter McRobbie, and Ed Oxenbould. I'm not familiar with those names, but I thought we'd give them a shout out.
They're all in this movie.
They're all in this movie. Da-da-da-da. You heard it here. Number 2 this week, The Perfect Guy, not yet rated at PG-13. After a painful breakup, a successful lobbyist, Leanne Vaughn, jumps into a passionate relationship with a charming stranger. When her ex-boyfriend resurfaces in her life, she has to figure out who she should trust and who she should fear. This is with Sanaa Lathan, Michael Ealy, Morris Chestnut, and Charles S. Dutton. Okay. And number 3 this week is 90 Minutes in Heaven, also no critic rating at PG-13. Don Piper died January 18th, 1989, when a semi-tractor truck crushed his car. Declared dead by the first rescue workers to arrive on the scene, Don's body lay under a tarp for the next 90 minutes. Don's soul, meanwhile, was experiencing love, joy, and life like he'd never known before. Don was in heaven when another pastor's prayers helped bring Don back to life. He became a living miracle. Yet this is one miracle Don wished never happened. Heaven's bliss was replaced by excruciating pain and emotional turmoil. With the support of his prayers and his beloved Eva, their 3 kids, and friends near and far, Don clings to his faith in God and fights to regain a semblance of his previous life. The Piper family's incredible true story of a perseverance in overcoming the challenges of life and death will bring hope and encouragement to all those who see it. This is with Hayden Christensen, Kate Bosworth, Dwight Yoakam, and Hudson Meek. definitely not on my must-see list. In the box office this week, we have War Room pulls in $9.5 million. Straight Outta Compton, number 2 at 8.6. A Walk in the Woods at 8.2. And The Transporter Refueled pulled in $7.4 million. Not a lot to go on. Yeah, pretty calming in the movie industry. I was really curious to go see Transporter. It came out last week. However, at currently 16%, I'm not rushing out for that opportunity. I will most likely wait for Redbox or something. And with that, let's just jump into the news, I suppose.
So, news this week dominated by Apple. Today,
all the reasons
September
why everyone
9th
should hate their
Apple
existing iPhones.
iPhone event, the fall iPhone event. Exactly.
You know the phone that they say they weren't going to make another version of?
Last year? Well, here's
another version of.
I don't think they ever said that. But
there was one time they did say, like, oh yeah, this is the last one. Oh, by the way, here's the 5. A year later.
Well, that's good, because if you had one last year that was better than the one you made this year,
iPhone
why are you trying to sell it to me? It's the stupidest line in sales ever.
Exactly. So we're just going to touch... I know. We're just going to touch on the highlights here because there's way too much information. Links will be in the show notes. The long-awaited and much-touted iPad Pro is announced. Won't be released until November. It is a 12.9-inch display, so a big display. 10-hour battery. The latest and greatest processor, an A9X. To be sold with a bunch of accessories to add to the price. They will have a smart keyboard. Think along the lines of a Microsoft Surface. Yeah, this is like Apple's version of the Surface, was the impression that I got. And also an Apple Pencil, an active stylus exclusively for the iPad Pro. It's not going to work on anything else. Coming in November, like I said, prices starting at $799 and going up from there. No standard iPad announced at this conference, but there was a new iPad mini, number 4, added. This will drop the iPad mini 2 price down. New Apple TV announced. With apps this time.
Did you mention how much the Apple Pen was going for?
Like casual gaming.
It's like $100 or $150.
I did not. The Apple
and I heard that on the
smart keyboard will be $170 and the pen will be $100,
so to speak, iPad Pro. They're claiming that the pen can get as accurate down to the pixel.
I had not read that far into it. I'm kind of catching up on this a little late. Full disclosure here today. Today was my youngest son's birthday, so that's where most of my
everything
focus
I'm
has been.
stating is
and given that the announcements were made today, I'm kind of catching up after the fact on this.
You know,
yes,
some things just don't need to be said. You can be quite hurtful.
How's that different than normal?
No, you're not. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry.
Continue.
Sorry. Not sorry. Apple TV. Finally, several years of stagnation on the Apple TV front. They have announced their next generation over-the-top console, essentially. Will come in 2 models, a 32 gig at $149 and a 64 gig at $199. This seems to be, on the surface at least, a shot across the bow of the cable industry. Apple has been rumored to be in talks with trying to get licensing rights, but barring that, they are also very heavily exploring the Netflix route of doing original content. And let's face it, apart from sports, who really watches TV much anymore? And they could very well start to kill the TV market. If you think Apple TV with exclusive content and a Netflix subscription with exclusive content, what do you need
as
TV
well
for?
As they're adding in games to the new Apple TV
cable
device.
Companies beware. They are. So it will be opened up for apps. Limited information available at the moment. It was only just announced today. They have mentioned that apps, including games, will be limited in size to 200
This will be like,
yeah, you're not talking about putting Halo in this thing. You're
no
talking
massive
about
multi-gig
mobile games. On
this is probably most likely the mobile games, which they have from their massive store.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking. Now, that's not to say that you can't have a multi-gigabyte game, but they're only allowed to take up 200 meg on the device. Everything else has to be downloaded as needed. So, if your game is huge, people are, not going to be happy if they have slow connections or if they're on metered connections. I'm looking at you, Comcast. The iPad kind of stole the show, but the iPhone was not left out. Much anticipated, the iPhone 6S and the 6S Plus. Pre-orders starting this Saturday to be in stores on the 25th. No real major surprises. Everything was kind of spoiled ahead of time. Bigger camera. They're going to a 12 megapixel main camera and a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. Faster processor, obviously. Same general form factor. Better
nice.
Touch ID sensor for the fingerprint. The big one for this is Apple announced their new iPhone upgrade program.
There you go.
Where for a fixed fee each month, you can get the new phone every year. It starts at $32 a month. So for $32 a month, every year you can get the latest phone.
There you go.
It will be the small phone
like
with the small capacity,
Mr.
but you can pay more to get the bigger ones. So it really does. So it's a 2-year commitment. Pay the fee every month for 2 months. It's a 2-year commitment. Did I say 2 months? 2 years. Anyway, it's a 2-year commitment. So you pay the fee every month for 2 years and the phone is yours. Or you can pay the fee every month and after 1 year you can hand the phone
that's what
back
I did with the Samsung.
and get the new one and just continue paying.
According to what the guy at Costco was saying, is that I pay...
Yes.
My money, my payment for the phone, zero down, essentially, every month. But because I'm doing the plan, AT&T gives me an additional discount on my services, so that although the plan, let's say it's $35 for the phone a month.
Yes.
But he's saying I get like $25 off my services. So I'm really only paying $10 a month over what I am now, but I get a new phone out of it. Mm-hmm. Depending on what, phone I get, how long I feel like paying for it.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Correct. Most, if not all, the carriers.
But I was surprised they were offering
now.
a discount on the
2-year
services.
Contract with
That's what
the
surprised
subsidized
me.
phone is going the way of the Dodo Bird.
Okay.
That's actually not new. That's an old carryover. Once See, not many people actually got this far, but once you had your phone out of your 2-year commitment, your original contract, your price of your service went down because you're no longer subsidizing your phone. And see, I know this because my
but are you actually
iPhone 5 is now 3
less
years old.
on your
I've been
monthly
out of
bill,
contract
or
for well over a
see,
year.
we never got a physical discount.
Once I had full...
We've been paying the standard.
Yes.
Oh.
See, I get a discount every month. So there's 2 parts to your bill. There's the
connectivity
service, right? So you pay X amount of money per month to have minutes and gigabytes. And then there's another section where you pay X amount of dollars on top of that to connect this phone to that plan. So, for the plan that we're on, we pay whatever we pay to get 12 gig of service and minutes. And then there's 2 connection fees, one for my phone, one for my wife's phone. Well, at the end of your subsidy period, the 2-year contract...
See, we pay $40 a line.
For me,
but all of our
$40
at least 2 of the 3
$15.
phones are out of the 2 years, but it's stayed. So we've been paying that $40 fixed up until that point.
So AT&T is milking.
I upgraded my phone. Now one of the lines is reduced.
Yeah. Right, which it should be, because part of that was to subsidize.
Correct.
See, people are getting sticker shock, right?
Sure.
You just bought a $700 phone, and you're paying it off over 2 years. Oh my goodness, that's huge.
With $99
Whereas before,
down.
you walked in and it was a $99 phone.
Exactly.
Well, no, it was still a $700 phone. They just hid where they were charging you for it. And now it's a little more out in the open.
Yeah.
So... over under, nothing really has changed. You're just paying for it in a different place. And with
just make
Apple's
sure the carrier isn't trying to
upgrade
charge
program,
for it too.
You will be paying Apple directly for the phone rather than through the carrier. Exactly. Make sure your bill reflects, because as far as your carrier should see, you have an unlocked, fully paid for phone. And so you should not be paying the subsidized connect fee. Rounding this out, just trying to get through here, iOS 9 was announced, coming September 16th, so 1 week. They're dropping their price on iCloud storage, and the next version of Mac OS X, El Capitan, is set to be released on September 30, along with Watch OS 2.
Very good.
Their new, the next version of the Apple Watch.
So, did you put in for your next iPhone?
So that's the event in a nutshell.
Will you be putting in for your next iPhone?
They're not taking orders yet until Saturday.
2:59.
He's already
It's
got
going
the
to be
page.
3 a.m. my time when they start accepting orders. So probably.
He's got the page up. He's got all the information filled out. He's got an
I'll
alarm
set
for
my
2:50.
alarm clock for
Bling!
2:55 a.m.
How many phones are you getting?
That's right. I've got 5 computers set to auto refresh.
What if all 5 connect?
Well, as long as one page connects, that's all I need.
I'm not expensing that, sorry.
eBay.
Well, then I guess you're buying an iPhone. Yeah. No, I'm probably not going to get this right on initial order, but with my phone now being 3 years old and showing the age and wear and battery
Will you
wear
do
especially,
Pay Apple,
this will
get new
probably
phone,
be the
or
cycle
are you
I
looking
operate
to own the device?
I haven't gone through all the details yet, but I'm leaning heavily towards the pay Apple get new phone every year. The other thing I forgot to mention is part of that price when you go through your carrier, it is just the straight price of the phone. That's it. You're dividing the phone price over 24 months and paying for it. Through the Apple upgrade program, you also get the Apple Care Plus, their extended warranty service, where you pretty much just take your broken phone into an Apple store and go, it broke, fix it. Yeah. Not unlimited. Check terms and conditions.
And I mean,
apply,
for me, correct me if I'm wrong, but
easier to deal with.
You know, when I upgrade my phone, I don't do anything with the old one. You know, like there's no real reason for me to have it. So if there's a plan where I get the new one, and I trade in my old one, I'm not doing anything with it anyway. Why not?
Well, sure. I mean, there are things you can do. You can use it as a movie player or a music player if you wanted to. There are options for trading in old equipment. There's a couple. Gazelle is the one that comes to mind right now. I know there's a couple in competition with them, but you can get money for trading in your old devices.
Very cool.
But it's not much.
Anything else
I'm with
on
you.
that front?
I'd rather just hand it back to them and go, give me the new one.
Okay. Wade, what do you...
All right, well, after that Apple-splosion...
No, I believe that's the big stuff.
We get to the thing... Well, the thing that was promised to us earlier in the year, Batman Arkham Knight. This came out on multiple platforms, the PC included, only to find out the game was nigh unplayable during the time. It was so bad that Steam took the game off its service, even though that's a form of curating, even though they say Steam doesn't curate themselves, but whatever.
Well, in Steam's defense, they were probably getting so many returns for people buying it that it was a loser for them. Yeah, that's a different. That's.
I was going to say, I don't know if that's so much curating as it is removing defective products from the shelf.
Leaked release, and I say leaked release because it really wasn't announced when it was put into effect when people had the game on Steam. Still had the game, didn't do the return feature, which made the game playable, but still needed more fine-tuning. So it was nice to hear that they actually came back and didn't just go, oh, well, deal with it. This was Warner Brothers, by the way, that I think either developed or published the Arkham games. But it's nice to see that most of these, that they didn't just release the game and say, well, too bad, deal with it. You know, but, so that's a nice change coming from others that would normally just go, no, we'll patch it when we feel like it. They said, nope, we will give it to you. We will put it out when it's ready. We understand that we screwed up. So you should be able to play the Arkham Knight sometime within the month. Sweet. On PC.
So for all us Batman game fans, for those who are up on what's going on, we are doing the Arkham City playthrough on the channel. For those Arkham Knight people who've been waiting, there is hope.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Did you do any of the Arkham games, Brett?
Woohoo!
Which is?
I think it's Arkham. I think we talked about this thing. You have Arkham City also.
I have one.
I think I do as well.
Yeah.
I have the Game of the Year edition, which I got like really cheap on Steam.
I think I have Arkham City. Hold on, let me...
I just have the regular one for PlayStation 3.
God.
Yeah, I have Arkham City.
I just paid $6 for it at the local Steam store.
Pretty much. That's how we did. So, with the Game of the Year for like 6.
You're just sad.
Anyway, Arkham Knight, PC gamers, there is hope. Keep posted.
I think I'm not sure, but I think they're maybe offering DLC as well for it. Because
that would
you
be
had
nice.
to wait.
Well, they kind of need to sweeten the deal somewhat now. I mean,
Yeah.
They released it.
they've re-released
on
this game
all
a couple
platforms
times now because they keep getting
was
it wrong. You know,
horrible on the PC. They
Throw us
took
a
it
bone here.
off Steam till they could get it functional, and the patch was leaked release, which wasn't supposed to be released earlier in the month. That then was took back and it was, how does this? It was playable, but still needed improvements. So it's still going back, and they're still working on it. So, and you should have the game by the end of the month. So enjoy
There
that.
you go. Brad, back to you.
Alrighty. Back to
Drones.
me. Well,
TSA?
a reoccurring theme on Abundance of Naught is the progression of technology in self-driving cars. And, well, technology in cars in general, and the problems associated with them. We've covered, the latest hacking into the car control systems and the problems that can occur from that. But that admittedly still required a lot of work. And we've talked at length and debated somewhat the pros and cons of self-driving cars and how they will make the roadways safer, but safer for whom? Well, turns out that the developers of self-driving cars weren't quite as forward-thinking as we would have liked them to have been. And hackers have tested and proven that they are able to trick the tracking system in self-driving cars
Brilliant.
Sorry. That's
for
not
as little
funny,
as
but it's
$60
really
worth
funny.
of parts that essentially amounts to a laser pointer. It really is another one of those smack your head moments. Like, guys, you had one job. So the problem comes from the most effective tracking system developed to date. Well, I should preface that. There are some really amazing tracking systems that have been tested that require millions of dollars of rework in the infrastructure. There's a section of highway down in your guys' area where the roadway has been retrofitted with magnets in the road. I don't know if you're familiar with those. Okay.
Okay.
I'll have to dig it up and see if I can find it. It's actually it was a self-driving experiment, I want to say from the 90s, where they actually had magnets in the roadway for the cars to track on, and it was amazing for the time. But that requires redoing every road surface in the country, which the Department of Transportation has trouble doing at the best of times. So the most effective method of tracking that they've been able to come up with so far is a system known as LiDAR. It's a laser-based radar system that mounts to the top of the vehicle and gives the computer a 3D view of the world around the car. It spins just like radar, except faster, so it's constantly turning and refreshing the view, and can see roughly about 300 feet in all directions around the car. Well, because it's laser-based, laser is also its Achilles heel. And the test hackers in messing with this said they spent about $60 on components, off-the-shelf components, including basic stuff like a Raspberry Pi or Arduino. Just hacker computer, well, not hacker, enthusiast. There's a term for it that I'm just drawing a blank. maker computers, for building your own components. And they've said
scary.
that they can trick the car at ranges of up to 300 feet. It is a little bit. So, obviously, we are not there yet. More work needs to be done. The thing about it is they're not actively hacking the computer system. They are spoofing it. They're tricking it into, with this laser pointer type device, they're creating objects in its path, virtual objects, that either confuse the computer or make it think that there's something there, like
crazy.
A wall or another car, making it stop.
A LiDAR type system can be manipulated, quote unquote, so easily. Because I'm pretty sure military uses LiDAR, and I mean, it's used. Some people have used them in the drone industry for longer range, communications, transmissions, and whatnot. So that's, that's great. That's nuts to me.
Sure.
No, obviously. I wonder what, because Tesla, although they're working on it, Elon hasn't said what exactly their system is going to do, though. So, this is obviously an issue for LiDAR systems, but it's not that all self-driving or autonomous driving vehicles will be using LiDAR.
No, it's not. And, what's the computer... The problem comes from the automation, right? So if you're using LiDAR to paint a picture on a screen that a human looks at and makes a decision based off of, that's one thing. But if you're using it to feed directly into the control computer, the passengers of the car have no input in that. The car is making decisions based on false information completely autonomously.
Okay.
Wait, back to you.
Yep, and to continue, we finally come to a head with the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, on the ruling with the multi-user or multi-YouTube group Machinima. Earlier, before the Xbox One was launched or released, they were contacted by Microsoft to do promotional videos in which two YouTubers took up on the offer and voiced, and these two YouTubers created videos voicing what they were most looking forward to the Xbox One. However, these YouTubers were being paid for this and were not being disclosed. And this was not disclosed that they were being paid for it, and the FTC ruled that this was deceptive advertising because they were not disclosing the information.
Because they were being incentivized, but not disclosing that to the viewers.
Yeah, they were not disclosing that they were being paid to speak positively of the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Good, that's the way it should be. I mean, if you're being paid to do an advertisement, then
and it's not hard on a video to put text on the bottom that
says
this is a paid
advertisement.
Paid advertisement, paid promotion.
That's what you're doing.
Whatever. And that's all you have to do. You're done. But
sure.
Yep.
And I agree with the Trade Commission's ruling here.
The Trade Commission's ruling is in the show notes. I don't know if
look, we're going to pay you to do this,
was
but don't tell anyone we're paying you.
Ignorance on their part, or they did it maliciously. I'm just going to go with ignorance on their part.
Well, the other thing to pay attention to is like something you just said, Brad, is Was this something that Microsoft said, hey, we'll pay you, but don't say that we're paying you? Or was it the recipients that were being paid and chose, like you said, Wade, to maliciously not express it, or just ignorance and not expressing it? There's 3 different directions on this one.
Yeah. And going on with the Trade Commission's ruling, they do say,
Sure.
Make sure that
Absolutely.
the disclosure is easily visible when going forward. Probably do it. The best time to do it is the beginning of the video, or an overlay, saying that this is a paid video, a paid promotion. It must be either seen or heard, but both are preferable. Just do them both. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
So, and it must be easy to see. So you can't have it buried somewhere. Like, you can't have it
flash once and be gone.
Well,
on like a single frame of video.
Yeah, well, like, don't do it in the beginning, because people might not see the end. How many times of a YouTube video have you stopped and just, went somewhere else?
Sure.
And the one where it's easy to see is that, don't, with the description tag or the description underneath the video where no one checks.
Yeah.
You can't just put it in there and just like, oh, okay, well, that's done.
It has to be part of the actual content you're distributing.
It has to be pretty much in the video watcher's face about it. So
there you go.
So here's my question about this.
Yes.
Okay, these guys are either idiots or, ignorant. That much we've established, or we can agree on at least. Microsoft is forking over money for this promotion. Did their lawyers at no point go through this and go, wait a minute. This may not get through FTC guidelines?
Yeah.
Where was the review
that's a valid point.
They were
think
paying
that
for this
if
promotion.
I'm paying you to promote my product, I want some, not getting paid and you're bashing the product.
Well, I think they saw that they were...
I want to make sure you're promoting it the way I want to.
How do I say it? The Microsoft saw that they were promoting the Xbox One, as they were, agreed to, signed to. But I don't think because we have not had this kind of look into, specifically with the FTC, that people don't really know to disclose this just yet.
This isn't the first paid advertising on YouTube.
Agreed.
This is the first one that someone got caught not reporting it, and because it's Microsoft and because people trusted the words of what was being said to them by the content creators,
they ruled it as deceptive advertising.
People went out and bought the product because of what these guys said, not knowing that it could have been inaccurate or definitely at least bias. But to Brad's point, if you're a company and you contract someone to advertise on your behalf, it's why you're paying these guys to do it.
Yeah.
You should have somebody reviewing that content before it goes public because they're representing your company and your product. If no one at Microsoft did that, or someone did but didn't catch that it didn't meet the FTC guidelines for this, then that's on Microsoft, so to speak. Unless no one's reviewing it, and then it's on Microsoft. Now, the question, I guess, to you, Wade, on this is the FTC punishing... is there a punishment being dealt out, or they're just saying these are the rules you have to follow?
I think they've given a They have not yet punished the YouTubers.
Okay. But they're punishing them, not Microsoft.
Yeah.
So it's up to the content creator to make sure you're complying with the guidelines.
It's up to the
not the company that's contracting your services.
Yes. But they within the ruling they have given the guidelines, which we have explained on this podcast just now.
Yes.
Of how to go about doing this. And if you need any more explanation, a YouTuber, one of the guys I follow a lot, Total Biscuit, he did a decent explanation about this subject.
There you
go to Total Biscuit if you do need more info.
Perfect. Brad, do you have anything more? We're at 56. Okay. I did?
Very quick one. I'll keep this one short and sweet. You mentioned Tesla. This is actually from a week ago, but seeing as we're covering 2 weeks worth of news. Elon Musk has announced that the next model of Tesla is going to begin pre-orders next March, with production to start in 2 years. This is not the SUV version that should be out this year, the Model X. This will be the Model 3. It's a sedan, and it's supposed to be their main push into the
if it's anything like the
market.
picture I'm looking at right now, it looks like a stumpy little minivan thing. It's ugly. Looks like maybe a concept deal.
Yeah.
Here's another one that looks more like a wagon.
I don't know what picture you're looking at.
Yeah, you got to be careful. A lot of the pictures are going to be a Model S.
No, if you do a...
Because I see what looks like a Model S wagon, and then I see one that looks like almost like that BMW
I think
i3.
It's the wagon.
It's a four-door.
We were looking at one that said
it's all
3 times
Chevy.
the charge. So it's
Yeah.
like with the Tesla logo, so
It's not attractive. Although
Really?
It'll make electric more available. It'll make Tesla more available to
but it will
a
bring
larger
electric
demographic.
to mainstream.
They're not the only name in electric. They just happen to be the biggest name in electric. So there you go. For those who are looking to have a Tesla but don't want to spend, $100,000+
But need more
to get
of
a Model S, there is the Model 3.
but need more of a family car? Yeah, get yourself the Tesla van.
The Model 3. Available for pre-order soon. Well, very good. Once again, we thank you guys for listening.
We were not paid for this advertisement.
This is a non-paid promotion. Do follow us on Twitter at Abundance Not. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/abundance.not. Check out our YouTube page, Abundance Not. Lots of stuff going up there. And once again, we are looking to do a giveaway at 500 followers on Twitter. So spread the word, and you can have a chance at a $50 Amazon gift card. So join the fun.
Keep on gaming.